For about the last 15 years or so, I've been obsessed with the idea of trying to merge the teaching of art and science, and to do that through the use of media production. So the question then became, well, where do we do this? So I thought, well, how about on the east coast of Malaysia, out at a place called the Perhentian Islands. Literally one of the most beautiful places on planet Earth. So I got my Jacques Cousteau on. I went ahead and slapped scuba gear on all my students and threw them out of the boat. Now, it's at about that moment that it started dawning on me just what I've done. The thing is that this is a high-risk activity, and so now I've got 22 students who are 50 feet underwater paddling around on a coral reef. A little unnerving, actually. But once you get underwater, that all changes. All of the anxiety fades away. All of the critters, the sights and the sounds and everything that's going on down there is just otherworldly. Okay? And one of the things that my students had to do was to catalog and to identify fish, coral, sponge species. Now there are literally thousands and thousands of species down there. So to find them is not an easy task. Imagine a little fish about the size of the top of your thumb, like a little yellow box with fins. Now you've got to find this and identify it. There's jellies. I mean, you would turn your head and see something, and you'd think, I must be on another planet. I mean, what am I looking at here? But of course you're not on another planet. You're underwater, and we're just not used to seeing organisms that have evolved in this zero-gravity environment. You know, the only way to see them is to get into the environment with them. This whole idea, it's not like going to a zoo, it's like going into a zoo. One of the most fun things for me was just seeing the facial expressions of my students as they got out of the water, ear to ear grinning, you know. Basically, I saw a small group, 22 students, ages ranging between 14 and 17, very quickly become very mature and very professional scuba divers. They took their role and they took the responsibility extremely seriously. It was like starting with high school students and ending with colleagues. We went out and we did a dive against debris, and that's a dive where you collect trash off of these pristine reefs. You wouldn't have believed the garbage that we pulled off these reefs. It was tires and sandals and bottles, and it was amazing. And we also did underwater drawing class, which ended up becoming kind of one of the highlights of the whole trip. It was something that we had planned on doing, we just weren't sure how well it was going to work. And in the end, it just worked brilliantly. It's very simple to do, just canvas and different shades of lead, and you go down and sit down there for about 45 minutes, and you can change different pencils. We had them all on string so that you wouldn't lose them because they flew away, and it just ended up being one of the highlights of the whole trip. Yeah, it was an amazing experience.